Halloween monsters explained. In the dim glow of a jack-o'-lantern, monsters come alive, casting eerie shadows that have haunted our nightmares for centuries. Halloween, a night filled with costumes and candy, has deep roots intertwined with tales of monstrous beings that have captivated our imaginations. But where did these stories begin? Why has the idea of vampires, ghosts, and witches persisted throughout history? Today, we're pulling back the dark veil of Halloween to explore the legends and myths of its most iconic creatures. Let's journey into the night and discover the tales that have been whispered from generation to generation. Vampires, the thirst for blood. Emerging from the cryptic folklore of Eastern Europe, vampires are perhaps the most iconic of all nocturnal monsters. Legend speaks of these undead creatures with insatiable thirsts for human blood, lurking in the shadows and transforming into bats when needed. Their razor-sharp fangs, pale skin, and mesmerizing gaze make them both a figure of allure and horror. The fear of vampires wasn't solely confined to tales. Historical accounts suggest that in certain regions, graves were disturbed to stake corpses, ensuring they wouldn't rise as blood-sucking monsters. During Halloween, the figure of the vampire becomes a centerpiece of horror. Their association with the night aligns perfectly with the eerie ambience of October 31st. As you carve pumpkins and decorate your homes, remember, in the tales of old, a vampire might be watching, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Werewolves. The moonlit transformation. The chilling howl in the dead of night, the beastly figure emerging under the silvery glow of the full moon. Werewolves have captured our imaginations for centuries. Stemming from ancient European myths, these creatures are humans who, under specific circumstances, transform into powerful wolves. Their uncontrollable rage and hunger make them feared figures in folklore. Legends suggest that those bitten by a werewolf or cursed will undergo this harrowing transformation during each full moon. The ties to Halloween are undeniable. As a celebration that venerates the eerie, mysterious, and supernatural, werewolves have taken their rightful place in the pantheon of horror. Old tales even hinted at Halloween night being a special moment when their power peaked. So, as the moon casts its glow this Halloween, be wary of the distant howls. They might just be closer than you think. Witches and black cats, conjurers of the night. Broomsticks, pointy hats, and bubbling cauldrons. Witches have long been a symbol of Halloween's enchanting yet sinister charm. Originating from pagan practices and old European folklore, witches were believed to be women, and sometimes men, who practiced dark arts and consorted with the devil. Their lore is rich with tales of midnight gatherings called Sabbaths and brewing potent potions capable of love, luck, or harm. Halloween, being the bridge between the worlds of the living and the dead, was seen as a night when their magic was most potent. Black cats, on the other hand, are often considered the witch's familiar, a creature that aids her in magic and serves as a spiritual companion. Their association with bad luck stems from beliefs that they were shape-shifted witches or the embodiment of dark forces. On Halloween night, as candle flames flicker and shadows dance, remember the legends of witches and their loyal black cats watching from the misty corners of the world. Zombies, the walking dead among us. The word zombie may conjure up images of the undead shuffling towards their next victim, but this Halloween monster's roots are deeper than pop culture might suggest. Originating from Haitian folklore, zombies were once living people, transformed by dark magic into soulless, mind-controlled beings. The lore was tied to real practices in Haitian voodoo, where it was believed that sorcerers or bokors could revive the recently deceased and make them do their bidding. Over time, especially with the influence of films and literature, the zombie transformed from a magically enslaved person to a contagious, flesh-eating creature, representing societal fears of epidemics and loss of individuality. Today's zombies seen during Halloween are often characterized by their insatiable hunger for human flesh and their unstoppable nature. As Halloween approaches and darkness blankets the world, the eerie moans of zombies remind us of the fine line between life and the haunting world of the undead. Ghosts, the ethereal spirits of the past, a whisper in the wind, a fleeting shadow, or an unexpected cold spot. Ghosts have fascinated and terrified us for centuries. These spectral beings are believed to be souls of the dead, unable to move on to the afterlife due to unfinished business or traumatic deaths. Many cultures around the world have their versions of ghost tales, from vengeful spirits seeking justice to protective ancestors watching over their kin. Halloween, originally called Samhain by the ancient Celts, marked the time when the veil between the living and the dead was at its thinnest. People believed that on this night, ghosts roamed the earth more freely, mingling with the living. To avoid malevolent spirits, individuals would wear masks and costumes to camouflage themselves. Today's Halloween ghosts range from friendly apparitions to malevolent poltergeists, reflecting our varied relationships with the concept of death and the unknown. As candlelit jack-o'-lanterns flicker and night deepens, the age-old belief that spirits walk among us feels ever more possible. Mummies, the preserved dead from ancient sands. The sun-scorched deserts of Egypt hide one of the most eerie and fascinating remnants of the ancient world, mummies. These preserved bodies, wrapped in layers of linen, were prepared with meticulous rituals meant to ensure a safe passage to the afterlife. Contrary to common belief, not all mummies were royalty. The process was expensive, but various individuals from different classes were mummified, each with varying degrees of grandeur. The fear surrounding mummies isn't necessarily about the mummies themselves, but about the curses believed to be associated with them. Legends abound of tomb raiders and archaeologists facing a series of misfortunes after disturbing a mummy's rest. In the context of Halloween, mummies represent a tangible link to ancient practices of honoring the dead and the mysteries of life after death. Their tightly wrapped appearance and the stories of curses contribute to the eerie atmosphere of the season. So, when you see someone wrapped in bandages on Halloween night, remember the rich history and the ancient beliefs that gave rise to such an iconic monster. Headless Horseman, the terrifying rider. In search of his head, originating from European folklore, the tale of the Headless Horseman is one of vengeance and restless spirits. Most notably popularized by Washington Irving's short story, The Legend of Sleepy Hollow, the specter is described as a Hessian soldier who lost his head to a cannonball during the American Revolutionary War. Every night, he rides out in search of his missing head, terrorizing the town of Sleepy Hollow. However, the legend goes beyond Irving's tale. Stories of headless riders exist in many cultures, each with its unique spin. These spirits are usually believed to be searching for something lost, exacting revenge, or seeking to finish some unfinished business from their living days. On Halloween, the image of the Headless Horseman galloping through mist-covered fields with a jack-o'-lantern or his own severed head in hand adds a spine-chilling element to the festivities. It reminds us of the unfinished tales and the spirits roaming in the dark, waiting for their stories to be told or avenged. Skeletons, the eerie reminders of mortality. Skeletons, often seen dancing or lurking in graveyards, are universal symbols of death and decay. These bony figures have been etched into our psyches for millennia, representing what remains after life has fled. Throughout history, skeletons have held a particular fascination, not just as reminders of our mortality, but as elements of dark celebration. In medieval times, the concept of the danse macabre, or the dance of death, depicted skeletons merrily dancing with the living, reminding all of the inevitability of death, regardless of status or wealth. Halloween has embraced the skeleton as one of its central motifs. Walk through any neighborhood in late October, and you'll likely find skeleton decorations draped across porches, emerging from gardens, or hanging from trees. Their grinning skulls and bony fingers serve as both a playful nod to the holiday's macabre themes and a chilling reminder of the fleeting nature of life. The popularity of skeletons during Halloween is also rooted in ancient beliefs. Many cultures believed that the barrier between the living and the dead was thinnest during this time, allowing spirits to freely roam the earth. The appearance of skeletons is a tangible representation of those departed spirits seeking connection or causing mischief among the living. Demons, the malevolent entities from the abyss. Demons, often depicted with horned heads, red eyes, and grotesque forms, are believed to be powerful, malevolent entities from various cultures and religions around the world. Rooted deeply in ancient lore, these beings are thought to influence humans, leading them astray and causing chaos. The term demon originally stemmed from ancient Greek religion, where daemon referred to a spirit or divine power. Over time, especially with the advent of Christianity, the term began to take on a darker, more sinister meaning. In Christian theology, demons are often considered fallen angels, led by Lucifer, who rebelled against heaven and now reside in hell. These malevolent spirits are believed to tempt humans into sin, possess the living, or even cause natural disasters. They're invoked in tales of possession, where a person's body and actions are taken over by these dark forces, requiring exorcisms to cast them out. On Halloween, the portrayal of demons taps into the holiday's dark and eerie nature. Masks, costumes, and decorations often feature demonic visages, invoking both fear and fascination. Their presence during this time is symbolic of the thin veil between our world and the otherworldly realms, where spirits, both good and bad, roam freely. From bloodthirsty vampires to restless ghosts, these Halloween monsters have shaped our fears and stories for centuries. Each tale, legend, and creature reminds us of the mystique that surrounds this chilling holiday. Want to dive deeper into the lore of the supernatural? Subscribe and join us as we uncover more spine-tingling tales from the shadows. Stay curious and dare to explore the unknown. Happy Halloween!